So I'm thinking, okay, we can get her down the elevator, into the car, get to the hospital.
That was the plan.
That was the plan.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Arayniab and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm gonna be giving y'all the story on what the hell happened. Okay, I don't even know I don't even know how to explain this to y'all, but I'm gonna do the best I possibly can. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed yet, here's your moment of silence to do so. Bless your heart, love. Welcome to the Sunshine Gang. Unfortunately, I didn't get the vlog like I was supposed to do. You know, we were supposed to vlog the whole experience from laboring at home, going to the hospital, pushing the baby out. Like, we were supposed to do all that. But we didn't get the chance to. Thankfully, my doula was able to take some pictures, and so I'm gonna go ahead and insert some of those while I'll tell y'all what the hell happened. So let me just tell y'all what the plan was so y'all have a little bit of understanding. Now, the plan was to labor at home until I get like maybe 4 to 5 centimeters. The goal was actually 4 because, you know, COVID-19, you got to sit in triage, you don't know who got what. So we didn't want to go through all that, and we didn't want to have them like send us back home if they didn't think I was far along enough to sit in the hospital. So we were just like, you know, we're gonna do pre-labor at the house, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and head to the hospital once active labor hits, right? That was the plan. It actually all started around Wednesday morning, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, right? I was feeling a little bit of uncomfort. I was like getting up to pee, and I'm just like, why is my stomach hurting? So I thought I just had to use the bathroom. So I got up, peed, everything was fine, lay back down. 30 minutes passed by, it happened again. I'm just like, why is my stomach hurting? So I'm just thinking, you know, I gotta pee. So every time the pressure come, I went to go pee, because that's kind of what it felt like at the beginning. So I'll say I was able to go back to sleep. I'll say maybe an hour or so went past. I texted my doula because the pressure started to get a little bit more intense and closer together, and I wasn't able to go back to sleep. I texted her at 4:07 and I was like, hey, I'm feeling continuous pressure in my pelvic area. Not sure what it is, but it's been happening for over an hour, right? So this is 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm pretty sure she was asleep. She didn't text me back. So I was like, all right, let me just move. Because, you know, when you're going through the Braxton Hicks contractions, I mean, a good way to make them stop is to change positions, go somewhere, like move, go somewhere else, and drink a whole bottle of water. So I decided to go, you know, move. I went and sat on the toilet, still feeling it. Then I went back in the room and sat up in the bed. I was still feeling it. I did not drink. No, I did drink some water. I drank water, still feeling it, and it was going on until like 6 o'clock, right? So around 6 o'clock, I'm like, listen. So it is 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm feeling pressure, and a lot of it. I want to say it started around like 2 o'clock, but it wasn't this close together. I was just getting up, going to pee, thought it was just baby pushing on my pelvic, until around like 4 o'clock. It got a lot closer. And mind y'all, I was dead tired. Like, I was so sleepy and I didn't get any sleep. I don't know if it's real labor or just Braxton Hicks. So I'm sitting up to see if it'll go away. I've been, it's 6 o'clock. It started around 4, so that's 2 hours. I've been up for 2 hours. I'm sleepy. I can't go back to sleep. Now at this point, the waves were a good, I would say, it was varying. Sometimes it was 10 minutes, sometimes it was 8 minutes, sometimes it was 5 minutes, sometimes it was 2 minutes. Like, it was just all over the place. And at that point, that's when I'm like, okay, they might be Braxton Hicks, which I honestly can't tell you if they were or not, because I'm gonna let you know why.
We'll see. I'm trying to figure out what time when I want to call my doula, but I'm trying to give it some more time, so I won't be like calling her for no reason. So we'll see.
So 6:30 came, I called my doula, and then she was just like, all right, so let's go ahead and start timing them. This is around 7 o'clock, and I have screenshots of the waves, right? So as you can see, the waves are pretty inconsistent. Like, they're not 5-1-1, 5 minutes apart, 1 minute long for a whole hour. Like, you can see they're 4 minutes or 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Like, it's just all over the place. So I'm going through the waves, and like around 8 o'clock, I made myself some food, and then I laid down. I noticed that the waves were getting further apart. At that point, that's when I text my doula again. No, she checked up on me, and she wanted to know how everything was going. Around like 12 o'clock, they end up just like completely stopping, and then she's like, yeah, it kind of sounds like Braxton Hicks, so yeah, nothing was happening. And I was like so disappointed. I'm like, for real, bro, for real. Like, I really thought homegirl was coming. I really thought, you know, Braxton Hicks ain't have to do me like that, because it was serious. But I ain't gonna lie, I really do appreciate the Braxton Hicks practice waves, because it definitely got me ready. I was able to breathe through them and deal with the waves, and you know, all that good stuff. This is when all hell broke loose. So I would say around like 9 o'clock, your girl got hungry, right? I got hungry, and I've been in the house all day. And babe was going to get some food. We ordered some food, and I was like, you know what? Let me get out the house. Let me get out the house and go for the ride, because I've been in the house all day. I've been in bed all day. I took off of work, everything, right? Now, mind y'all, our elevator stopped working. Either they stopped working or they turned the power off, because something is wrong with it, right? So I had to go down the stairs, right? Y'all, I got to the bottom of those stairs, and I was just like, I don't think this is a good idea. They came back. They came back.
Oh my!
It was a short-lived wave, so I'm like, okay, I can deal with it. That's cool. So let's go to the car. Went to the car. Boom. We good, right? Get in the car. Felt another one. I'm like, oh, okay, they back. All right, cool, right? Mind you, in the car, feeling waves, I felt every single thing. We ran over a rock. I almost died. I felt everything. Every little pebble, every little bump, every little rock, I felt it. So we get home, mind you, I have to go back up the stairs. Up the stairs, the elevator isn't working. So I have to go back up the stairs. Oh my baby. Just imagine having contractions and you walking upstairs. Yeah. So at that point, we got in the house, and I called my doula like that. Like, listen, hey, no, I didn't call her, I texted her. I texted her, because I was still tracking them. I texted her the picture, and then I sent her a screenshot, and I texted her stronger. Like, I couldn't even, like, at that point, I couldn't even, like, text her no full paragraph. There was no explaining what's going on. I just put stronger. What's up, y'all? So I'm back, and I have the woman who delivered my baby.
She birthed her own baby, y'all. I just watched. I was in the stands cheering her on.
Listen, she kept us safe. We're here, alive and well, and she caught my baby. That's all that matters. She caught her.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I did that.
So So my doula is here, and she's gonna go ahead and tell her side of the story, and I'm just gonna be, you know, basically intertwining the two. Now we are recording this on 2 different days, that's why I look different, so don't come for me. Do not come for me, okay? So yeah, she's basically gonna tell her side of the story.
So I don't even know where to begin. Man,
where should we start? it had to be around like 8:30.
Yes,
closer to 9.
Yeah, so you call me, and she was like, "Yeah, Gail, they back, they live and direct. They demanded my respect right now." And I said, "Okay, so start timing them, and call me back in an hour." Homegirl sent me a screenshot like right away. Nah, I got you. We already did that this morning. I'll go ahead and show you what she working with right here. So yeah, she sent me a screenshot, and I was like, okay, she's making good progress. Still a little inconsistent as far as in between each wave. The time each wave was coming was still a little inconsistent, but I said, oh, she's making good progress from this morning. So I said, okay, go ahead and get in the shower. I figured, you know, if she relaxes her body, gets in the shower, her water hasn't broken yet. Let's see how you feel then. I wanted to see if, you know, putting her in a different position, changing her atmosphere would change the course of the waves, because that's what happened earlier that morning. And I'm on the phone with her also to kind of hear how she's handling her waves, how she's breathing through them. Is she frantic? Is she calm? She's sounding pretty good. So I'm like, okay, so you sound like you're doing pretty good. Her and her boo thing was doing their thing, everything that they learned in class and in the prenatals, they was doing their thing. I said, so do you want me to come? I don't think I finished asking the question. She was like, yes. I'm going to need you to be on the way now or earlier from now. But just, yes, go ahead and make your way. I said, okay, well, take a shower. Arsenio, when she gets out the shower, coming back if anything changes.
So she ended up coming over. I'm on all 4s, booty in the air, butt ass naked, right? Came in there and she was just like, okay, this is a great position. You're doing great. I'm breathing through the waves. So the waves are a bit, they're a bit off. They're still irregular. There's no consistency. So at this point, I'm on all 4s, breathing through the waves or whatever. So my legs started hurting, so I had to move. And I kind of like laid down. I laid on my stomach. You know, I was on my stomach for a while, and I ended up throwing up, right? So I threw up, and then I started just laid right back down, right? And my doula asked me, do I feel the waves in my back, or do I feel it wrapped around my stomach? And I didn't really know until I got like 2 more, and I'm just like, okay, I think I only feel it in my back. Now you're supposed to feel it in your back, and you're also supposed to feel it wrap around your stomach. She's like, okay, we have to move, because if you only feel it in your back, you're not progressing in your labor. So I had to move, and moving is the worst thing ever. It's the worst thing ever. And you're supposed to, you know, move and sit upright so you can progress in your labor. But they don't tell you that every time you move, it hurts. I'm not here to scare anyone. It's definitely an experience, so just experience it for yourself. So after I threw up, I had to go pee.
Came over and came over and she made it out the shower okay. That's for sure.
No way.
Yes. Her man was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, please, I've seen it all. I've been bitten, thrown up on, peed on. This is nothing. Like, she's doing good. She's comfortable. She's managing herself. So about a good hour went by. She was kind of rocking with it. She was doing really good, breathing through them all. I really didn't have to do much. Like, everything we had already talked about, they had expected. She knew how to handle herself. She was doing really good. Every now and again, I adjusted her face or her body positioning. She was doing really good though. We were still timing them. About an hour went by, and she was between 9 minutes, 7 minutes, some 5 minutes, but still bouncing around a little bit.
All over the place.
So we switched her to her left side. I kept hydrating her, of course. That's one of my tricks. And she was still pretty consistent.
I threw up.
You did.
I threw up.
I had to go move my car, and when I came back, there was throw up all over the floor. And I'm like, but this is good. This is good progress. So for some mamas, they do feel either nauseous or they throw up in the midst of labor. It's a show of progression. It's not a bad thing. It's nothing to panic about, for as long as there's no blood or anything in it. And she was doing good. I told her she's progressing. She's doing okay. But again, everything was still pretty consistent. They weren't getting closer together. They weren't getting stronger. She was consistent. So I said, okay, let's move. She gave me all sorts of attitude. I was okay with that. We flipped it to the other side, and her waves started to get stronger, which was good. They were getting stronger, so now
she says good.
Well, it's progression. I don't want her to be in that same stance, 2-3 hours at a time. I want her to keep progressing. I want her to plateau.
That's because I was only feeling it in my back.
Yes, she told me that. She said, okay, well, when they started back again, I felt the wrapping around feeling, but now I'm only feeling pressure in my back. And I'm like, okay, well, for a doula, that could mean a lot of different things. So because of some of the different things, I said, okay, now let me reposition you to see what happens now. Good thing. The waves got stronger. This is good. This is progression. We want birth, right? We don't want to just sit here and be uncomfortable for nothing. Not good? It was good. So they're stronger. She's making good progress. Oh, we got a special guest. Hey, mommy. Sorry. She's hungry. Okay. You good? Listen, she said when she wants to make an appearance, clearly when she's ready to make an appearance, when she says it's time, it's time. I'm feeling it in my back. I don't feel it anywhere else right now. So you sure you're not feeling any, any changes or anything anywhere else? She said, no, only my back. So she's telling her man to press on her back. I'm telling him to, press on it during her waves. And then she said she has to use the bathroom. Another doula trick. So as she goes to the bathroom, I have her linger there for a little while, trying to get her to progress. So we're in the bathroom, and the two of them are bonding together. They're going through the waves. She's doing really good. Then we start to get some consistency. Maybe about 15 minutes later, she's like, I don't know. I think maybe a little shorter than that. She's like, my legs hurt and I'm tired. I said, okay, tell me what your body needs. What is your baby telling you to do? What is your body telling you to do? She's like, Gail, I want to sleep. I'm tired. I want to sleep. I said, okay, so let's turn around. She looks at me and say, what now? And I'm like, turn around so that way we can get the best of both worlds, right? Motion.
Turn around.
Motion is lotion. You either want to keep her moving or keep her in an upright position. But at this point, she says she's tired. So I have her turn around. I give her a pillow so that way she can rest her head over the sink, and that way she can take her breaks in between her waves. And she's still making progress. Good. All right, so I'm clocking her. She's doing good. I kind of step out for a little bit, let them do their thing. The three of them bond and do their thing. Like, okay, we're getting a little closer now.
So they had me drinking water, so I end up having to get up to go pee. So now I'm on the toilet, right? So I'm on the toilet and I'm just telling them, like, listen, look, we have to move, because when I was going through the Braxton Hicks contractions, being on the toilet hurt. Like, it hurt worse than, just sitting upright or whatever. So I'm like, listen, this isn't a good position because of the practice waves that I've experienced before. I know this hurts, right? So mind you, my doula's like, are you sure you don't want to just try it for a minute? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay. So I did one wave, right? We did a wave. And I'm like, all right, that wasn't that bad. So I was able to handle them on the toilet. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'll sit here. And so she was like, okay, let's turn around on the toilet and your back gonna face us. And I'm just like, what? You want me to do what? She convinced me because I was feeling most of the pressure in my back as well. Every time I felt the wave, I felt pressure in my back. Like, my back. But yeah, you're like, it's easy access to your back. You can lay down. You could probably fall asleep, Well, let's just try it. So I'm like, all right, cool. So she was asking me, like, what is your body telling you to do? How do you feel? And I'm like, I'm tired. Like, I want to go to sleep. Like, what are you talking about? And then, like, later on, she ended up telling me, like, girl, you was just sleep. Like, you was snoring on the toilet. And I'm like, what? Sleep? Girl, I probably passed out. You talk about sleep. I had no recollection that I fell asleep at any point. All I felt was contractions. So at this point, I didn't really know what time it was. I ended up losing track of time. So what I did was, my legs started hurting. So I was on the toilet, my legs started hurting. I'm like, hey, we gotta move because my legs hurt. You know, my legs starting to fall asleep, sitting on the toilet too long. And we move again. Now, remember I told y'all, moving is horrible. Moving is horrible. Like, it's the worst thing ever. But anyway, I had to because my legs were hurting. I was very uncomfortable. So yeah, this is, y'all, this is when things got crazy. Oh, I forgot, on the toilet, my mucus plug had released itself. My mucus plug released, right? So I was sitting on the toilet just looking at it like, this is real. Like, this is real, okay? But, you know, when your mucus plug releases, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're in labor, right? So what happens is, it's that 5-1-1 rule. It's that 5 minutes apart, 1 minute long for an hour. And I never had that. I never had it. That's why everyone was just like, what just happened? But anyway, we go back in the room. Now, at this point, babe, the way I'm positioned, babe is sitting on the wall. So his back is against the wall in the bedroom, right? And I'm basically on, my back is against him. If I explained that right. I always mess that up. Anyway, but yeah, his back is against the wall and my back is against him. But I kind of like laid out because I was so exhausted and tired at that point. I'm just like, man, when is this gonna be over? All right, so I'm laying there and the waves started spreading apart again, right? So my doula's like, okay, we're gonna have to move her because her waves are spreading apart. She's whispering to Senio at this point, and I hear her, but it's like in my head, I'm like, man, listen, I need this break. I need it. I need it. Like, y'all is tripping. Like, just let me chill for a second, right?
Good thing. Okay, we're getting a little closer now. Okay, I'm ready to get up. I said, okay, let's get up. I'm going to her room to find her something to wear because I'm noticing it's now, you know, things are getting a little more consistent. Waves are getting stronger.
Oh, yeah,
Time's getting closer
you
together.
did find something to wear, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going through the drawer and I'm like, I don't know what she wants to wear. I don't know. Like this pants or this shirt, or I was actually looking for a dress, but of course, when you're looking for stuff, you don't find it. Fine. She makes her way to the bed. They're both laying down, and once again, her waves start to slow down. And she's laying down. She's kind of draped in her man's arms. I think I should take a picture of that.
I think you did.
Did I?
Mm-hmm. I was like laid out. Oh, she was like draped. I was like, so exhausted.
She's draped in her man's arms. She's yelling at me that she hasn't slept, but I have audio of her snoring. So something was happening. I don't know. So again, she starts to plateau and everything kind of hits a pause. And I want to move her. And I kind of mouth to her boyfriend. I say, she's going to kill me.
I heard her, by the way.
But I want her to kind of just sit up again just to see what her body does. And I think as she did, she let out this lioness roar. And I was like, oh, there it is. And the moment she did that, her water broke. And I'm like, oh, there it is. Like, okay, that was the break before the hoorah. All right. So I'm thinking, okay, we can get her down the elevator, into the car, get to the hospital.
That was the plan.
That was the plan.
That was the plan.
And then I don't remember if I recalled or Arsenio mentioned it to me, but he said, the elevator doesn't work. And I was like, oh.
You remember that was a fear of mine. And I was like, I just hope this elevator doesn't like stop working while I'm in labor.
While you're in labor.
I spoke that into existence.
Do not let the atmosphere absorb certain
right into his
details, because I feel like maybe he said it to me, and I feel like as soon as he said it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. There is no way.
There's no way.
There's no way we're getting down all these flights of steps successfully. It's not gonna happen. So again, he's holding her. She's kind of taking a break, and I mouth to him. I say, are you okay to kind of just stay here with her while I go check to see if the elevator's working? And I think she snatched all of us at the same time. Like, you're not going anywhere. No one's going anywhere. And I'm like, okay, well, we're officially on the clock at this point. And in the back of my head, I'm also thinking, and her waves are stronger, and her water has broken. You know, I'm calculating all the things. And she goes, you can't go anywhere, Gail. The baby's here. And I said, here where? Where exactly here are you referring to? Because you told me that, this is what I'm saying in my head, you're only feeling, you know, discomfort in your back. There was nothing happening, right? So what do you mean by here? So I look and I don't see anything.
I don't remember why she came over to me, but oh, that's what happened. So a wave came like full force. It was like very, very strong, right? Very strong until I had started like yelling, right? So I started to yell, and she was telling me, you know, like, loosen up your face. You know, when you scream and you tense up your face, like, ah. She told me to loosen up my face, because loosen up your face and your jaws also loosens up down there, right? So, you know, that was our get you a doula and you'll understand why, right? So she was telling me to do that, and then the next wave, it was just as strong, and then my water broke, right? So my water broke, right? And she was like, all right, it's time to go. At that point, it was just time to go, because I would say when my water broke, I know when your water breaks, your contractions tend to get stronger. And at that point, I was just screaming because I got kind of scared. I got kind of scared because I didn't want my waves to get stronger. And I was just like, oh my God. I was just like, oh my God. Like, I can't, like, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for my waves to get stronger. But she was about to leave to go check and see if the elevator was working, and I'm just like, no, like, no, nobody's going anywhere. Y'all staying right here. No, do not leave me, okay? So that happened, and then she was like, listen, we gotta do something. So Cineo ended up telling her, just call an ambulance. Now at this point, another wave came, and I felt the baby's head, and I'm just like, I gotta push. I feel her head. I have to push. And she's, what? So at that point, she told me that she had to do the, what's it called? I don't remember. She basically put her fingers in me so she could feel where the baby head was. And the baby head was right freaking there, right? I hear her calling for an ambulance at this point, like, and I'm just ready to push because I can feel the pressure. I can feel the baby's head, like, right there. And anything can happen, you know, and during childbirth, anything can happen. Like, she was very professional, very calm. I mean, she knew exactly what she was doing, but she is not a care provider. She is a doula. So she had no choice but to call the ambulance, because this is supposed to be, we're supposed to be at the hospital at this point. We're not supposed to be giving birth to a child at the house. Anyway, so yeah. So I think one wave came, and I pushed, and I felt her head come down, but it went back up, right? Another wave came, I felt her head, and she was right there, right there. I held her there at that point. I think I had held her there so she wouldn't go back up, because I was like over it. I didn't want to go through that. I didn't want to have to keep, you know, having her. I didn't want to go through that. So I kind of held it there and waited for another wave. So I think she told me, when the next wave comes, do not push, just breathe. I'm not sure why, but I believe it was because of, the ring of fire thing. You know, when the ring of fire, the baby is at your perineum, and she's like, the head is right there, and if you just push the baby out, you would tear. You would tear, and nobody wanted that to happen. So I had to breathe and not push the baby out. So she's just sitting right there in my vagina. right? So next wave in, I was able to push her out. I felt her head come out of my vagina. Crazy. I felt her entire head come out, and then I think maybe 1 or 2 more waves, she was completely out.
She goes, no, it's time for me to push. There's no pushing happening here, ma'am. There's no midwife, there's no doctor, there's no emergency room. Again, this is all the things that are going on in my head, but I'm like, oh, you have to push. Okay, no problem, it's fine. And I look, I don't see anything. She's doing fine. I go and I put on gloves, and I just touch lightly. And I look at her boyfriend and I said, I'm gonna have to call the ambulance. I'm gonna have to call the ambulance because baby was there. Baby decided. Someone called my name, so I'm coming this time. So I'm on the phone with the ambulance and giving all the information, and I'm calm. She's calm. She's having a break at this time. I don't even think you were having contractions when I was on the phone with the ambulance, no?
I think I just had like 1, and then that's when her head probably came out. Yeah.
The ambulance is asking the operator, of course, he's doing his job. He's asking all the questions, and it's taking every fiber of my being to summon a calm, because I'm giving him all the answers. Of course, he has to, you know, ask all the questions, the right questions. Is mom having contractions? Is mom on her back? Is the baby born? And I ask him, I answer all his questions, and I say, so what's your ETA? And he says, oh, I don't know. Okay. And he continues to ask me questions. He's telling me, hold her knees back and tell her to push, and tell her to push like she has to poop, and make sure she's breathing, and is she having contractions? And I'm like, yes, sir. Okay, no problem. Can you tell me how far out you guys are now? And he keeps telling me, oh, I don't know.
That's not something you tell somebody you don't know. Figure it out.
I am just trying to gauge, you know, how much playroom we have between, you know, medical professionals arriving and baby girl making her debut. And he's continuing to ask me all these questions again. I think he even asked me at some point, is mother still breathing? And if I could have snatched him through the phone, I probably would have, but I'm keeping my composure. I'm keeping my composure, and I asked him again, okay, no, we're doing fine over here. Baby's not born yet. Mom's doing well. We're at a good place right now. I'm just wondering, what's the ETA? How far out are you guys? And again, he tells me, I don't know. I said, could you please contact dispatch and ask them, the people that you have assigned to this call, how far are you guys? And he's still not answering me. And she looks at me, she says, Gail, I need to push. And I said, okay, just breathe. Breathe. The next time you feel a contraction, breathe. She takes a deep breath, and here comes the baby's head. I'm like, all right, I gotta go. I think the phone like slid down my face, and her man was like, oh yeah, I hear the ambulance coming. And I'm like, okay, good. Okay, Arayniab, and the baby's crowning at this point. So babies come out very slippery. And I am not about to drop these people, baby, in the front of them. So initially I was standing over her, and I kneeled down towards the edge of the bed so I can have my whole body more so in front of her, just in case. And I told her, I said, keep breathing, and you know, the baby's crowning. I told her to keep breathing. Baby's head came out in the next breath. Yeah. And I'm waiting for it. Usually there's like a little pause between after the head is born and the rest of the body comes out. There was no pause, ladies and gentlemen.
Really?
There was, so usually there's a break. Like it'll be the head, and then the next contraction, there's the rest of the body. Oh. She didn't wait for the next contraction. There was not a next like 3 minutes or minute. There was no, her body came out seconds after her head came out.
Serious?
She came out pretty quickly. She was very slippery, of course.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So my head, when I first saw the head started to crown, I wanted to take the dad's hand so he could be the first to touch the baby, but he was
all the way behind me. Yeah.
Yes, he was holding most of her. He wouldn't have been able to reach around to grab the baby. Baby came out. Baby was born. She was amazing, good color. I flipped her over, let her tummy be on her mom's tummy, and I put both of their hands together to stimulate her, get her crying. She started crying right away. Good. So but first I readjusted the baby closer up to Arayniab's chest, and I put her hands on the baby, and I told her to keep rubbing the baby's back, and I put her man's hands on top of her hands. And I don't know if you remember this part too, but because you were laying down, like she kept sliding up the side of your neck and like away from you. So you guys kept readjusting, and I went and I opened the door for the ambulance. I'm like, oh, you guys are here, thank God. I lead them to where Arayniab is, and they're all staring at us.
Behind you, are butt naked.
Like,
legs wide open.
Fully,
they just sitting there
glory is exposed. And I'm like, all right, you guys, whenever you're ready, you can jump right in, do your thing.
Do something.
And I look, and I said, I don't mean to be sexist, but y'all couldn't grab one girl, like one woman, as you were running out of a...
Did y'all not hear the call? Like...
But they were great. I think out of maybe 5 of them, there was one captain, like one sergeant, I think, and maybe like 2 newbies, because the 2 of them kind of did the lead and kind of was telling the rest of them what to do. Yeah. I remember one of them saying, okay, you need to suction her. And he told the other guy, suction her nose and then her mouth. I said, just suction her mouth first and then her nose. And he did it, but nothing came out. She was fine. Another guy was like, no, she's fine. She doesn't need it. She's crying really well. She looks really good. But they were all still kind of just standing there, not doing anything. And I was like,
it's like they were scared. Like they didn't know what to do.
And they were all just standing and staring. I said, okay, let's anybody have a thermometer? let's start there. We need to do baby's temperature. We need to, and then the other guy was like, oh yes, we have a thermal blanket. And then he takes the baby and he attempts to wrap her in this thermal blanket, but it's like he was holding her like, I said, do you mind if I try? Do you mind if we're gonna go this route?
He was like, yes, please.
Do you mind if I? So I actually got one of her actual blankets and I put that down first, and then I put the thermal blanket and I wrapped her up, and then I
gave her back to me.
Gave her back to you. Yes.
Then they couldn't take the temperature.
They couldn't take the temperature. I said, okay, so you guys, does anybody have a thermometer? Do you guys want to take the temperature? And the guy takes the thermometer and he's like trying to figure out where to put it. And I'm like, oh, look at her arms. So he puts it on her arms and he's like moving around. He says, oh, I'll take the temperature later. She's moving. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, she's moving. She's a baby. She's alive. So I kind of just took the thermometer, put her under her arm, held her little elbow down. I just wanted to make sure her temperature wasn't too low. Cool. And I think they kind of just did their own thing after that. The only other time I interjected was when, I guess, one of the lead guys was like, okay, so-and-so, we got to cut this umbilical cord. We don't have sterile scissors, so we're going to give you a scalpel. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to hold the scalpel, make sure you do blah, 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 giving him all the steps. And he's like, okay, here's the scalpel. I said, the dad's here. Can you let the dad do it? Is that okay? Like, it'd be kind of cool if the dad gets to cut his own daughter's umbilical cord. So he gave the instructions again to the dad. He cut the umbilical cord. Baby girl was well adjusted. She looked good. Color was good. No mucus, no issues. The only thing we were kind of waiting for at that point was for the placenta to come out. So I'm very grateful for the paramedics. They gave her a little bit more time. They allowed her to breastfeed, to get that uterus to start squeezing, maybe to release the placenta, but that wasn't happening. So
we had to go.
Yeah. We all kind of said that. We're all like, okay, we got to get rolling because that placenta needs to come out. Then I did the mad dash for the clothes again. We were like, that way. No, that doesn't fit.
I'm like, pull something up. Yeah, I'll tell you what I can fit. We can do something.
We pulled up like 3 things. She was like, no, not that. No, I don't like that either. No, I don't want it. I'm like, girl.
I'm like, all right, that one. That one right there. Do that.
Yes.
It was like a plain black shirt too.
It's something simple. Yes.
Yeah. we met the OB there, the OB on call, right? So he's just like in there scratching his head, walking around. Oh, is the baby cute?
But before that point, before the OB came, that's when we said,
"Can you get this out of me?"
No, the placenta.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Yes. But even before that is when you first came in, and the nurses were like, oh, okay, you're a transfer from home. We're like, yeah. You had the baby in the house? Yeah. Oh, okay, congratulations, mommy. What baby is this? She's like, this is my first. And they're like, what? She's like, yeah, this is my first baby. And they all stopped. This is your first baby?
I labor for 4 hours. That's why.
Yes.
It happened so fast.
At home? With no medication? We were like, yeah.
Like,
okay. But yeah, they were all shocked that she was the mommy that had the first time pregnancy and birth at home with no help and no medication. She did it by herself.
yeah.
Strange. Fine. But yeah, when the OB did come, he's like, hey, mom, what time did you get here? What time did you birth? Oh man, that's been in there for about 2 hours now. We're like, yeah. Can we get this?
Yeah, like do
get
something.
this road on the show, sir?
Like, dude, and he walking around just all casual, looking at the baby. Cute.
Calm as a cucumber.
I'm like,
no urgency whatsoever.
So we gonna get this out of here or what?
But I mean, in hindsight, I think I would have preferred that than someone who was frantic and worried and, you know, panicky.
I wouldn't change nothing. Everything happened the way it should have. It was just
listen,
amazing.
she straight played me. She played me, y'all. So as a doula, this kind of happens sometimes. Moms are like, oh no, I told my baby she has to wait until her daddy gets home from a business trip, or I told my baby we're gonna birth on Wednesday. Like, you could have told me that so that I know also what the plan is happening. She played me, y'all. She planned this home birth. She planned this home birth from like the second month of her being pregnant, okay? She claimed, the same way she did this elevator foolishness, she claimed having a peaceful home birth at home from the moment she knew she was pregnant. And
it happened.
I was gonna say, I think she had an amazing birth. I thank God that the both of them are safe and healthy and well. But I would say, from your perspective, from my perspective, I think you had an amazing birth. Beautiful, beautiful birth.
Thank you.
You did a great job. The both of you guys together, the three of you guys together, all did amazing.
And people kept asking me, oh, did it hurt? Of course it hurts.
It's a whole human.
Okay. Of course it hurts. But I was able to handle it because I knew what I was doing it for. And also I came in without the fear of labor and delivery. And that's all due to her. So
that's my foundation. I think that knowing what to expect when it happens is a little easier to deal with, and it's a little easier to, you know, go through that part each stage of the labor, because you know what to expect, and you know, you practice all the things like, okay, when this happens, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to handle it. So even when we were laboring, I was adjusting her, either her face or her body, but she already knew why, and she already knew what I was telling her to do. I didn't have to try to explain it to her why, or explain to her what to do in the moment. We already went through all of that. We already knew why we were doing it, why I was telling her, why I was giving her those suggestions. So all of that are different variables to...
Right, so I do recommend that you get you a doula, Gail preferably, okay? And I do recommend that you also take her hypnobirthing class. I also recommend that don't let anybody give you their labor and delivery horror stories. Just let it go in one ear and go out the other, because people are gonna want to tell you, of course.
Yeah.
But just don't listen to it. Go in there with your wanting your own experience, and then you could come back and tell people your story.
So that's one of the things I actually absolutely adore about you guys and your story, is because there's so many people with horror stories, and those stories that you don't want to hear about, oh, the first time I gave birth, and this time this and that, just the things you don't want to hear and the things you wish you hadn't heard. But this being your first experience, having heard those horror stories, now you have something to compare it to. Like, It's not just somebody saying, oh, this was my horror story or this was my great story. You have your own first experience that you can now tell, and now you add to the other families and the other births and the other people that can claim to having not that experience.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if hypnobirthing sets you up for that or just
Yeah.
having a doula or whatever. I don't know exactly what sets you up for that, but I remember you even saying people were giving you your horror stories and you were like, I'm good. Like, I'm not concerned with what happened to you. I'm good and I know I'm gonna be okay. I'm not afraid. So,
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how that stuff plays into your subconscious mind.
Hey, you.
But yeah, you'd be surprised how that stuff plays into your subconscious mind and you start cringing, and it's not a good thing to
You
have.
listen to it, it'll definitely scare you. Like, even with like movies, when you see movies, you just be like, I don't want to go through that. And you also hear like stories where women, particularly black women, die through labor, like more than the white women. So it's just like all these different things tie into how you feel when you go through your own experience. Mm-hmm. So just, I would say unlearn and relearn, right? So just completely forget what you heard, forget what people tell you, forget what you've seen, and create your own story. Pretty much, that's about it.
She on point, she got it.
All right, well, that's pretty much my story. I thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you, Gail, for coming to tell your part of the story. Just so y'all know, I ain't lying, okay? I'm not lying. This actually happened at the house, right here, okay? But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace. Somebody did ask me a question, what was my most and least favorite part? My least favorite part definitely was the waves. But let me explain to y'all how the waves work. You know, the way the waves work is the waves come in, it goes up, 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 and it peaks, and then it goes down. Now, the technique is to breathe through the waves. I'm pretty sure you hear a lot, like when you're in see movies and they're like, breathe, breathe, breathe. And some people just, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you take a deep breath and go along with the contractions. Let it peak and then exhale. As long as you can do that and focus on your breathing, you got it. Right, you got it. Now, the reason why I say the contraction was the least favorite part is because there are times where I lost focus on my breathing, and I did that quite a few times. I lost focus on my breathing, and once you do that, you will feel the pain instantly. Okay, I would say stay laser focused on your breathing. It's laser focus. Okay, laser focus. Do not lose focus. Don't try it. Whatever. Now, my best part or my favorite part was definitely pushing the baby out. Honestly, that is the easiest part. Like, the hardest part are the contractions. But if you can get through the contractions, like pushing your baby out, it's the easiest thing. It feels liberating, honestly. Like, you just feel your baby coming, and I wouldn't change that for the world. I am very happy that I did a natural birthing. I would recommend that everyone try it at least once. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you can get through the waves, you're good. You're good. Just focus on your breathing, and don't believe everything you see. Not every birthing is a tragedy. Like, don't believe everything you hear. Not every birthing is horrible. Not every birthing is just extremely painful. Like, from 1 to 10, if I was to rate my labor, I would probably give it a 5, because you hear and you see so many different stories that it was just the worst of the worst, worse than period cramps. And I don't even believe that they're worse than period cramps, because period cramps, the pain is just steady. Like, it's just there. There's no wave. It's just there, and it doesn't go away, and it just hurts the entire time. Labor doesn't do that. I mean, it's a little bit stronger than period cramps, but it goes away. Like, you're not just sitting there enduring just pain for however long, you know what I'm saying? And I was also asked, did it hurt? I'm delivering a baby. Yes, of course it hurt. Okay, of course it hurt, but you can endure that pain because you know what you're doing it for. So don't just go for the epidural because you know it's gonna be the worst thing ever. Just try to experience it. I'm telling you, it's special. That lady right there delivered my baby. Okay, I will love her forever, and she kept us safe. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for y'all today. Thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below how y'all labor and delivery went, whether it's good or bad or you hated it or whatever. Just let me know. Put it down in the comment section below. I want to hear y'all's story. Y'all, thank y'all so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that like button and that bell button so you can always be notified whenever I post a video. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram.